All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday to everyone. We appreciate you tuning in today to Melanated in Business. I am just Josie here, your host for the evening. Right now, today, my co-host Tawanda with the T is out. She is sick, you guys. She is not feeling well. So please send your prayers over to her and send all your positive energy so that she can heal and be better. So today, I am a one woman show. I'm like talking, I'm on production. We're gonna see how this thing work out. I'm the journalist. I am everything. We're gonna get this popping today, though. I'm gonna make this work. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all for checking in with us today. Today, our guest is Sheena Lynn of Kemet Clothing. She has a beautiful, beautiful clothing line, and she's going to tell us all about her journey. She's going to tell us all about how she came to be and how it came to be. So, if you have any questions, please lay them out here. I'm actually live on my Facebook, so you can put your questions on our Facebook, and you can also put your questions on the timeline of our video. Um, but yeah, so she will be tuning in with us momentarily. I wish I had some mood music for you guys to listen to. See if I can find y'all some music to listen to momentarily until we get the show started. See if I can get y'all going, get y'all popping. I told you I'm trying to do multiple things. So we're just waiting on our guests to tune in. Hey, there she go. There she go.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. How are you? I'm so happy that you tuned in. I was like, where's she at?
I'm trying to get two laptops to work to do the Zoom, and I'm like, okay, let me just use my phone. How
I
about
was like, so today it's just me. Tawanda with the T is not feeling well.
you? Oh, she okay?
You and I getting this one-on-one energy, this one-on-one back and forth.
That's gonna
We
be
just gonna have us a
okay.
good old time and talk like we over the kitchen counter. That work for you?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Cool. So I am working production at the same time. So I
Okay,
will kind of peek over, see if we have any questions on the board, and then I'll come back to my questions that I have. Does that work for you?
works for me. Yeah.
Okay. So how's your day? How are you feeling this day?
It's good. It's been busy. It's been a real busy and hectic week, but it's working. I'm figuring it out. So working it
But
out.
I am excited. I've been waiting on this moment right here. I've been
I'm
excited.
excited too. This is like my third interview, but I'm probably the most nervous with this one. I don't know why, because I think we just have conversations. So it's like, we talk and, we've talked about business and different things. So it's just like, okay. And I think just because it's like, is that anxiety that's there a little bit, but I'm okay.
Well, breathe in and release.
Yes.
So I'm going to jump right in. And my first question for you today is, what is your story? Who is Sheena Lynn?
If I told you my story will be here forever. So, okay. I mean, the condensed version is, I come from, a hardworking mom. I had my kids early. And so for me, it's just finding something that was meaningful and something that I could leave a legacy for my kids, So that's kind of been my goal from my 20s and on, because I had my first daughter when I was 20. But it's like, you just run into things. You don't really know what you want to do. You want it to mean something. You just don't really know how to get there. And so naturally, having kids, you're going to make mistakes. You're just trying to survive sometimes, just trying to make it through the next day or the next meal. So that's been my life for like a long time. But I'm finally settling into, at 35, settling into, just being comfortable and finding, instead of doing what everybody thinks I should do what I want to do for me, because that's the best legacy to leave for my kids and my children. Doing what you really want to do in life, not what people suggest or, even jobs and different things like that, just really discovering who you are. And I've done that the latter part of my 30s. So that's where I'm at now, a lot of mistakes, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. A lot of it was caused, by myself. When you sit back and actually do like a self-reflection, you realize that a lot of you brought upon yourself, but it was all what was needed to be in order for me to get here. So.
Cool. So yeah. Where are you from? You're frozen.
So you're breaking up just a little bit.
Oh, I said, yeah, you're frozen. You were frozen. I said, so where are you from? Are you from Atlanta?
Oh, so were you? So, I'm originally from New Orleans. But I was part of a military family, so we moved around a whole lot. So I've been from North Carolina to Cali and back, VA, Oregon. I've been a lot of different places, but originally I'm from North Carolina. I was actually born in North Carolina. And that's where, that's where my stumping grounds are at. But because we moved around so much, it's kind of like there's pieces of me from every place.
Got it. So you are the CEO, the head woman in the NHIC.
I can finally say that. Like that's probably the dopest feeling in the world. Yeah.
Of Kemet Clothing, right? Kemet Co Clothing.
Kemet Co Clothing, yes, ma'am.
So how did that begin?
It actually began because my boyfriend, he started reading a lot of different books about about our history. And once you read one book, you're kind of like on a trail of just figuring out stuff. So one day he was like, well, just read this book and tell me what you think. And it was a book by Anthony Broder, and he was explaining a country called Kemet, which is now called Egypt. And he just kind of broke down the history that we know from everything, from the calendars, the Greek mythologies that we're taught, the European history that we were taught came from that place. But naturally, when you go to war with a country and you're invaded with a country, they take over it. But they also take over the ideas and everything that was created there, which was the original place, which was called Kemet, which is Black land. So once the Europeans came, they won the war. They took all of our ideas and made them, in my opinion, to what we're taught nowadays as far as European history. So to me, it was just interesting to see that literally when if you're able to just look through history, it breaks down the originality of where everything derived from. And so and of course that place was called Kemet. So naturally it just worked. It said Kemet Co Clothing. And, I worked with some graphic designers and different people that knew the history about Kemet in order to get the logo and different things like that. And it was organic, and it happened probably overnight. I probably sat on it a lot longer than I should, but it literally happened overnight.
Your logo is like grabs you. Like as soon as you see it instantly grabs your attention because it's so different. It's completely.
And I work with a lot of.
It gives you like a holographic
Yep.
hieroglyphics kind of feel, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you can feel that African, you know what I mean, base and under the foundation, just looking at it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I can understand how
And that's
that.
the effect I wanted. I wanted to have that effect when you saw it and was like, oh, even if you don't know what it means or know what it stands for, it makes you want to learn about it. And that's the effect that I wanted.
Well, you succeeded. You were successful.
Well, thank you.
Do you have someone wants to know, do you have a picture of your logo on
I
hand?
do. I do. It's on my phone, so I would have to scroll through it. But I'll post it before the feed ends.
Okay, so Mr. Boyd, a copy of her logo will be in the feed for you to view later. She doesn't have a giant picture of it on her wall at the moment, but I know it's coming. She gonna have one soon for you
Yes,
all to
definitely.
see. So we'll post it inside of the thread at the end of the interview for you all to view a copy of what her logo looks like. And soon, and hopefully you'll be able to look at it and then click the link and then pick an order. See how that
Yes, that's
all
all
works
we
together?
ask. That's all we do.
We're
Just
gonna
one
put
step.
that all together. Look at the picture, click the link, place an order.
Yes.
Now you can look at the logo all the time in your living room, in
Exactly.
America,
As many
with your
times as you
clothes
want to.
on.
You can click that link as many times as you want to.
Right. Right. So you kind of told me how you came up with the name and how you came up with it. Um, in that journey, I know you said it kind of happened overnight, but what was the hardest part? Was it the research? Was it actually deciding what pieces you wanted to sell, how you wanted to be designed? Like, what was the hardest part of?
Honestly, the logistics of it was natural because I knew that I wanted to represent me. So I'm not the heels every day and the dresses every day type person. So for me, it was like, okay, what would you, if you saw this, what would you want to wear it on? And so that's where the hoodies and the joggers and the sweats came from, because to me that's comfortable. That's what's comfortable for me. And then of course in the marketing scheme, it's unisex, so anybody can wear it. But as far as the logistics part of it, that wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was just me getting out of my own way. Me just, okay, it's not going to be perfect, just do it, and then figure out in the process. That was the hardest part, and just realizing that it's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but you have time to figure it out.
To perfect it.
Yes.
Got it. So who has supported you along your journey? Has this been one of those like, I've been in this by myself all alone, or has everyone
It's
just
not.
been there for you, pushing you? If you needed someone to stay up all night and draw pictures, or fill out invoices, or you know.
It's been my circle of friends that's probably been around since I moved to Atlanta back in 2005. I just been around around the same people. So my sister, of course, my kids, my boyfriend helps me out with any information that I need to get or any books I need to get a hold of. As far as graphics, I have a good graphic designer on my team who throws ideas at me. It's like, hey, try this, try this, try this. And it's a combination of just solid people that if I feel like I can't do it. I have a friend right now, she's deployed, but I'll call her and she'd be like, you know what? You sound crazy. Get yourself together. Remember who you are and just keep going. So to me, that's, the most important thing. My mom, my dad, those people around me, like, this is your moment. So just take advantage of it. Just keep going, because if you stop, that'll be the problem. So keep going.
Right. So I know you said if you told me your story, we will be here all day. But your story there's a part of your story that shows how much endurance you actually have and how much you've overcome. And I want you to share that, because I think that people lose that's your point where you connect with everyone else. And I think people often lose that struggle part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
TV makes it seem like this entrepreneurial journey is so simple and so easy, and
Yes.
they don't give that reality. So I want your reality. I want your story.
The reality is, for one, mental health is so important, and it's so not talked about in the Black community. It's so, just be strong, you'll get through it. And sometimes you have to break, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to get to the bottom part to get to your lowest in order to get where you need to be at, and I'm not the most religious person, but I am very spiritual. So there was a point where I had my second daughter and almost died. And that's the story, that's a part of the story.
Right.
So I knew there was a reason for me being here. I just didn't know what it was. And for me, that's the most important thing in life, like to figure out why, because doctor said you're supposed to be dead. Science says you weren't supposed to survive. So for me, I struggled with that. And ironically, even though you go through something that you survived or what they consider as a miracle, it can put you in a depressive state because you were there. Like when you sit back and think about the things that your body physically went through, that your mom saw, that your kid might have seen, those type of feelings, you sit back and it puts you in a depressive state. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're living life and you're trying to be positive and trying to just keep going, and it just seems like everything that can happen, it puts you in a state where it's like, okay, what am I doing? And when, for me, because I don't know how everybody else feels, for me, it's like, if I don't have a purpose and a reason for getting up every day, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I get the kids, and you have kids, I get that logic, but it's like when you're not being productive or doing anything meaningful, it puts you in a state where for 2 years, I can count how many times I got out of bed, literally. And if I did get out of bed, it was for me to go to work, and I was going to come home, and I was going to get back in the bed, because I just didn't want to, when I say I completely, and I didn't even realize it, I completely checked out of life. I would take pills just to sleep because I'm tired and, you're drained, but it's like, I can't sleep, but you want to, because you don't want to deal with it, because as Black women, we're taught, oh, just put it in your pocket and keep going.
Right.
And you can't do that all the time because you're going to break. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. So you're going to break, but you get taught for years after years after years, be strong. You're not the only person going through this. You're not the only person that don't know their passion or their truth. And it is true. And you try to wake up every day with a smile on your face and you try to function. But for 2, 3, 4, 5 years of just functioning, it puts you in a very low place, and you're trying to avoid it. So like I said, for 2 years, 2018 and 2019 almost took me out. It truly, truly did, because it was like, I couldn't get out of the state that I was in, and even when I rarely opened up to people, it was like, I couldn't even explain what was wrong, and it was like the distance of actually getting out of this depressive state or this poor mental health is like, I couldn't see past where I was at. So for me, it's like, I don't even know what's wrong. I can't tell y'all what's wrong to help me how to fix it, and I went to the therapist. My grandfather's a bishop. I talked to him, and it was like, I was struggling so much, but I couldn't even put it into words. I couldn't even say, okay, this is what's wrong, tell me how to fix it. So that took me to a very, very dark place where you think about harming yourself, where you're just like, okay, well, death got to be better than this. You know what I'm saying? So that's the bulk of my story that I want to share, because I tell people, I can't tell you enough, like, mental health is so important, and getting it addressed, whatever works for you, whether it be a therapist, whether it be a mentor, whether I reached out to you. I was like, sis, I need your help. I don't know. I know you don't know me, but like, if I don't get help, it's not going to get better, Right. So for me, that's, and because you got to put on this armor like you're tough, but you're breaking down each day inside, and people see, oh, well, she's strong, but inside you're breaking, So for me, it was, yeah, it might be fearful, or people might judge you, or people might look at you like you're crazy because you're having these thoughts, but you have to get it out. You have to talk to somebody, and the therapist might not work, but I feel like a higher being will bring people to you that can help you out of a situation by simple conversation and them not even realizing it. So right before I launched, like, I was at like my breaking point. I was gonna clock out. It was it for me, and I laid in the bed, and I never forget this feelings. I felt like my body was on fire. Like, it literally felt like somebody lit a match and just set me on fire. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, I cried. I cried probably for 8 lifetimes, in my room, in my bathroom, away from my kids. And then it was like, I just woke up. And when I woke up the next day, I just had a vision. And I just said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And if it don't work, it don't work. But if it do, then, it does.
Right.
And I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at it and they may see, oh, well, she seems happy. She seems like she's good. The biggest thing that I hate, and I used to roll my eyes every time somebody said it, well, you're so strong. or you've been through worse. But it's like, okay, but I'm human too, and I bleed just like everybody else, and I hurt like everybody else. You know, the strength that I show doesn't deflect from the pain that's still there. You know what I'm saying? It used to irritate me. Like, I used to get mad, like, well, you're just strong. Well, I'm a whole lot of other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And it's the complete opposite of strong. So, you know, it was hard opening up because I was never really that person like, I'm the person people come to with their problems versus me going to people with mine. And even if I tried to explain to people how deep my problems and my issues were rooted, it was almost like they didn't believe me, you know? And I'm like, a smile can hide so much stuff, and that pretending and faking is almost more detrimental. It's so detrimental to your health when there's things that you really, really need to work on. I think it froze a little bit.
It keeps you stagnant because you don't reveal that you need help, so then no one can help you.
Exactly.
So then they assume that you're strong, when in reality you're at your weakest point.
The weakest, the worst. And it's like you almost don't even want to tell anybody because everybody sees you as being so strong. But you know inside that you're at your breaking point. And that's the importance of having that circle around you, you know, those people around you. And, you know, even like my best friend, I've been friends with her since I was 14, 20 years. We're 21 years in. And she looked at me like, are you serious? Like, she had no idea. And it was like, I hid it so well. The people closest to me had no idea.
So in retrospect, right? Knowing of everything, knowing of all that mental, you know what I mean, anguish that it brought you to this space. Do you regret any of it? Like, do you feel like you should have never gone through it? Would you change it? Or are you like, this is the few, you know what I mean?
Because because I refuse to go back there. So it doesn't matter who it is. It's because it's going to be me or it's going to be you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my attitude. So regardless of it, I can't say that I regret it because I don't regret anything, because it puts me in a place where I need to be placed. You know what I'm saying? It puts me where I'm supposed to be at today. I'm supposed to be here having this conversation with you, and maybe somebody else will reach out to you or reach out to me because they're in that same space. You see what I'm saying? But I am at a point where it's always going to be me first. So I don't care about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because I refuse to go back to that place. So anything or anybody or any space that puts me, like it might whisper that it might put me there, I have no problem with cutting it off.
Cutting it off. Understood. But I'm glad that you allowed it to shift you into a positive, into something positive. You know what I mean? I'm glad and thankful that you didn't take your life, because now we have this brand, right?
Right.
That has skyrocketed. Okay.
I sometimes I sit back and like, yo, you really doing this? Like, you might not know really what you're doing, but you making it work, you know? So
like, you really doing this. Like, from the first time you know, was like, I have this brand, to I look at you now and it's like, she working.
Yeah.
Like, she not playing. So in all of that, are you just learning along the way? Do you have mentors? How are you kind of figuring it out?
Like, I've been in school, so I've taken like marketing courses and different the logistics of running a business. But I have people that I follow, which I know I've learned in the past couple of months. It is so important. The people you follow on social media, the people that you let, even just visually looking at, you know what I'm saying? So I follow people that are passionate about what they're doing, because it's not about the money. It's about being passionate, because that's the idea that I have. You know, because I feel like if the million's gonna come, they're gonna come. If that's for me, that's for me. So I do reach out to, you know, I have different family members that are really successful doing certain things, and I reach out to them for questions. And I have a cousin. He's actually really big out here in Atlanta, and he tells me all the time, well, you know, I got you, and I don't want to ride your coattail. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be like, oh, well, she's only successful because of these people she know. I want to be able to stand in a room with him on my own and talk to the people that he talks to. So that's very motivating. His wife is very motivating. So it reminds me that it's possible. You just got it. So every day I look at it. Somebody's working harder than you, so you got to figure something else out. So for me, that's it. I'm learning with mistakes with, you know, vendors, and that kind of stuff, I've wasted a whole lot of money, but I take it in stride because it's what I really want to do. So I know that you're going to have a couple of losses, and I know that things are going to happen that might not be as beneficial as you want them to be the first time, but you learn from it and you move on from it. And those type of things, it's frustrating, but it's like I can't even take it as a loss because I'm living my dream. So it's going to come with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know, I'm learning marketing and how to get to people that I don't know, because my biggest thing is because I've moved around so much, I know a whole lot of people, and a lot of people know me. So it's like I want to reach people that don't know me, that have no idea who I am. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's my struggle right now. But I'm working with a guy that's really good with marketing, and he's teaching me different things, because that's of course that's where your money's at when it comes to marketing. But again, it's a process, and I don't lose sleep over anything that I lost in regards to my business, because I know there's an end to it. I know there's going to be a point where I'm going to have it all figured out, and it's going to get better, and then I'm going to learn more and do more and more things.
So what is your primary platform for marketing? Is it IG or is it Facebook?
So logistically on the back end, all of my sales, the majority of my sales have come from Facebook. Just because my following on Facebook is a lot bigger than, of course, my social media, my Instagram, and both of my personal business Instagram platforms. But again, it's because I know of a lot of people. So it's like, for me, I want to start, I get so excited when I'm putting the order in and I have no earthly idea who that person is. And it's like somebody told them about me. That's what excites me, and that's what keeps me going. But I also tell people all the time, like, my nerves were bad because people say, people that know you won't be the first people to support you. And that's a lie. And I don't mean to cuss, but that's a whole damn lie. Because the 85% of my first sales in my month was from people that I know. So if you they might not have knew what it stood for. They might not have knew what it meant. They was like, oh, I see you doing something that's positive, I'm going to support you. And the biggest thing for me is that, because now I can show you something that you might not have been aware of. Or there's people that I already know the meaning behind it, and they're giving me ideas and they're telling me stuff. So that's all it's about for me.
So your brand, is it unisex? Do you have is everything for everybody, or is it just some women for this and men for that?
So
how does it work?
Because I'm honest, and you know how I am. So at first I didn't want to sell to females because I don't want to argue with you about my prices. And I know dudes are going to pay for stuff that they like, and they're going to support it for whatever reason. So in the beginning, it was strictly for men. And I had females that supported me because they wear t-shirts and they wear sweatsuits and hoodies. But my market was towards men, because I didn't want to argue with females about prices, because I know how I am when somebody tells me something. I'm like, hold on, I'm not paying all that. But so I knew that. But I actually dropped some sets for women, and I just kind of to get a filler and to see, okay, do I need to start investing in women's merchandise and bulk, and figuring out, okay, well, I know that, some women like stuff to fit a certain way, but would they still wear it? And so my sets shocked me, because I woke up and I had a whole bunch of orders. So I'm like, okay, so so it's like I said, it's that trial and error, and that just trusting that your brand is dope enough that no matter what you put it on, people are going to wear it. So for the fall, I am putting out a big line for men and a bigger line for women.
Okay, cool. So your items, your hoodies and your sweatshirts and your sweat pants and your joggers.
Yeah.
How did you find those vendors?
A lot of trial and error, a lot of wasted money. But I know a lot of people. So, I reach out to people. Hey, I'm having issues. I need help. I need help with a printing company. I need help with a vendor. And, some people don't give you the 100% connect, and you might still got to go through them. But as long as I can go to somebody, I know the product I'm going to get, and I know that I can trust what's going to come to me. That's kind of been where I'm at right now. Right now, I'm working with vendors, or looking for vendors, and trying to, figure through what vendors that's going to help me with my bulk shipments come the fall, because there are particular things that I want, and I want it to look a certain way. And some vendors don't have the option. Some manufacturers can't, which is fine, but I know what I want. So right now I'm actually on a search, finding manufacturers that can do exactly what I want them to do, because I'm not going to be satisfied if it's kind of what I want.
Got it. So do you drop ship?
I do not.
You do not. Is that in your future?
I don't think so. I think personally, my OCD and like the way I'm over stuff, I need to see me and my daughters pack and ship everything that is ever left. And I want to continue that. So I want to continue that blueprint, even if it's a day where I'm shipping out thousands of orders and I have a warehouse. I want to physically be able to go, and I want to physically be able to see what's being done every day, because I feel like that's important. Sometimes I feel like when the drop shipping, and I get other businesses needs, they may need to do that, but I just think it's so important. Customer service is so important. So if I could see everything and I communicate with people when orders are late, I personally reach out to people and let you know what's going on before you have to reach out to me, because I think that's important, especially, I mean, it's sad to say, in the Black community with Black business owners, sometimes that doesn't happen. And for me, that's important, because I don't want you to think that I don't care about the fact that you spend money with me, especially during this times, the times that we're in. I want you to understand that this $100 that you spend it's important to me because you could have did it anywhere else. So for me, it's like, I don't foresee that happening, because I just feel like it's important to be in tune with your customers and I think sometimes that can be overseen once that mass production comes or that mass ordering comes. But I have kids and I have family. We can put these orders together. I can make it work. I feel like I can. So until I'm physically proven wrong, then that's what we're gonna do.
Put everybody to work.
Yeah, put everybody to work.
Everybody working.
Those are the ideas
part
that
of the legacy. That's part of the brand and building of the brand and creating legacy. And you're instilling hard work and ethics into your children. But then it makes you appreciate it a little bit more when you're doing the hard work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as we grow and we elevate and we increase, at some point, you know what I mean? We gotta shift and pivot so that we can still be touching things and be front line, but grow with our business. For me, I see you like walking through the warehouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's all I want.
Yeah,
that's because I think, and then it's like I'm creating jobs. I want to. It's not about just I just need you in my warehouse packing. Like I feel like in the 35 years I've been alive, I've had a lot of experiences, and I've had a lot of things that have happened that I can, in the process, just teach. Because I think life sometimes is the best teacher, and just being involved with people that, okay, well, this is what I'm trying to do. What do you think? And they might start off at the warehouse, but then 2 months later, they might have their own company because they see it, and it's tangible versus, just not being able to touch it. And for me, it's like, I want to teach my kids, especially my oldest, because she's almost 16. I want you to understand from the ground up how to run a business. That way you're not selling it for less. You don't have to be in nobody's office. Like at the end of the day, I can do this and I don't have to ask anybody for anything. So that's what's important to me. So even if it becomes to the masses that I'm putting out thousands of orders every day, she's going to know how to be able to do this with or without me. So that way, when I'm no longer here, she has the capabilities of doing it. And it starts small. It starts with packing the orders. It starts with the handwritten thank you cards that I do. For me, it's just because that's important.
Yes, that extra, that unexpected customer service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That exceptional customer service. Because you're right. A lot of times with melanated businesses, people tend to stereotype and generalize us based off of one experience or two experience. Now this all melanated businesses
exactly.
Yes. All melanated businesses don't do that. And it's like, no, that was a specific experience that you had. An individual isolated incident. Why attach that negativity to everyone else's brand? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've had
we have to go outside of our way. We have to go, exceed far and beyond in customer service just to get that appreciation of what we offer.
Exactly. And that's what I want to teach my kids. That's what I feel like my kids need to know. It's not right. It's not okay that you always have to do more than what everybody's doing, or you have to give a little bit extra, because you shouldn't, but that's just what it is. So when it's that way, if you teach them from the ground up, that's just their discipline, that's their habits, and that's what they know, versus thinking things are old to them. It's not. You always got to do a little bit more, because maybe the color of your skin, or maybe who you are and it's I don't even tell them, don't lose sleep over it. Do it, and do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, because it has to be done.
Exactly. Somebody got to do it.
Whether you want to do it or not, it has to be done. So you might as well smile when you do it.
Exactly.
You might as well be happy when you do it.
Exactly. So because for me, it's
the
good.
option is to not do it, and that's not an option.
At all, especially not in my house at all.
packing these bags.
Exactly. Smile. And they're getting it down, and they're as meticulous with it as I am. You know what I'm saying? First we started off, it was kind of shaky, but it's all a lesson, and you learn, and you're just, moving on and on and on and on. So it's growth. And for me to be able to see it in this short period of time, like it's exciting for me.
Well, I commend you on your hard work and your efforts, because it is reflected. I can see it. I can see the growth. I can see the business excelling. So with business increasing and everybody wearing Kemet Co, how you been handling this whole pandemic?
I'm good. Like, I don't know. It didn't bother me. And let me tell you something. And I've told a couple of people before. I launched my company January 10th. I got fired from my job February 10th. So the income that I was investing into my company, gone. And then here come Corona and his funky self. So now we stuck. And it was like I was sitting back and I was like, I don't know what to do, because I don't want to be like posting and asking people for money and people can't even feed their kids type thing. But it was like every day somebody would hit me up, hey, I ain't got it right now, but this is what I want to do. So it kept me motivated, because even if it's one person, I don't shrug that one person off. I take it, because you can do a whole bunch of other stuff with your money. So for me, it's like I'm not missing any steps. Like, I've sold more during this pandemic than I did when I first launched. And it's not, and it's like, it's not me blasting social media all day, every day. It's people approaching me or coming, hey, well, what about this? Or, hey, can I get this particular thing in this particular color? So for me, it's working. And that's how I feel comfortable. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be at, because even without a lot of effort, it's coming to me, partnerships, interviews, podcasts, and things like that. So for me, it's actually been outside of people sick, obviously, and the world kind of shut down and went crazy for a while. It's because I'm sitting back and I can reevaluate my business. Me losing my job was probably the best thing that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I was able to sit back and truly focus on my business and focus on what I wanted to do.
So has it affected your shipping?
It's had in the beginning, because I was just a little bit nervous. I don't like germs, and I didn't want to go to the post office because, I personally sent out all my orders. So I was like, well, I don't know, because then it was like a thought. If I go to the post office and say this person is sick, and then I come back home and I get my kids sick, all for somebody to get their order. So I did halt shipping for, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks, but I posted it on all my pages just because of the time. I want to be safe. You guys can still place your orders, but just know that right now I'm not going to ship every day like I used to. But my processing and shipping time went from 5 to 7 to 7 to 10 business days. And that's what people expect. So, but I just try to cut it down, because I don't like wait for stuff that I paid for. So I try to just put in that mind frame. Like, if I order something, I kind of want it about a week later or so. So it really hadn't affected that. I know getting some of the orders from the vendors took a little bit longer, just for whatever reason. But, I would say 7 to 10 days, possibly, if that.
So not a big change, just like a couple extra days, but nothing like you can't get your product because, or your product is stuck here, or they're no longer, shipping from your vendor.
Yeah.
So
that was the main issue. I figured, when I had big orders, 2-3 times a week, I had the post office come to me versus me leaving. So, he'll come pick up my packages, and then I'll go, just to kind of alleviate the interaction with people. Right. But outside of that, is like I said, I've been truly blessed, and that's why I feel like right now is where I'm supposed to be at.
Cool. Let me see if we have any questions. Let me see. Someone did talk about the depression. They said that, mental health is important, and our community doesn't talk about it. And this is true. And that they agreed that you should have someone to vent to and kind of lift those things off of your shoulders.
Like, just get it off your chest. Like, even if you don't have a resolution for it, or they might not have a resolution for it. I think for me, it was, okay, if I go talk to this therapist, she better be able to solve all my problems. Like, because, it's a thing. Like, if I talk to this therapist and I go once a week, she need to have me an answer on how to fix this by the end of the month. And that's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? And therapists don't work for some people. I know people that go to therapy and it might make it worse. For me, I felt like it made it worse for me, but I found mentors. I found people that I could talk to, and I trust those vibes. So if I feel like I know I'm a stranger, even with you, I'm about to tell you all this stuff. I don't know why, but it just feel like my spirit saying I can tell you, and it, what I'm saying, and it worked. So, you got to find something. And I think it's a struggle in our community with mental health. It's like just a topic. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Right. And you really have to, because it's not just me. It's not just her. It's not just him. It's a big issue.
But for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. And you would never know the people who suffer from it, because those are the strongest people, tend to be the strongest people that you know.
Yeah. But they struggle, and they're probably the worst off, because it's like they still have to put this facade on that everything is okay.
Yep. So what are your handles? Tell us where we can reach you. How can we place an order? How can we get us some Kemet Co clothing?
So I will let you know. My website, of course, is www.kemetcoclothing.com. Instagram is the same, kemetcoclothing.com. My Facebook business page is kemetcoclothing.com. You can email me at kemetcoclothing.com at gmail.com. My personal handles, because people go that route to all of my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, email address is all _Sheena Lynn _@gmail.com. So if you wanted to reach out that way, you can find me anywhere. Just Google Sheena Lynn. You can find me. You can find the brand.
Cool. So your shipping, do you use they can pay right directly on the site, or?
Yes. So everything goes through the website. I prefer everything to go to the website. I do have people to be like, can I just cash app you? That's fine too. I'm not going to turn it down, but everything goes to the website. So if you go to www.kemetcoclothing.com, you place your order. My shipping time, I update based off of where I'm at as far as, but I just kind of put it as the 7 to 10 business days, because that's an average. But you do place the order. There are customized items that you can do on the website. If you say, okay, I got these sneakers and I need the logo in this color, those options are available. And then you go through and make the purchase. The shipping sends out an email. As soon as I get the order, I get everything starting the process, and you get those alerts via email also.
So you only have men and women? Do you have children? Do you have a children's line?
I don't, but I've had people ask. So it's something that I'm working on, but I kind of want to, for the fall, I want to get the men's and the women's together and get it to where it's functioning properly, and, kind of get it out there. That way I am working on it, obviously, because I have kids, and my kids ask me all the time too for stuff. So it's like, so I'm working, that is something that's in the future, hopefully before the end of this year.
Okay. Cool. Well, I have enjoyed you.
Well, thank you.
I thank you for coming on the show. I thank you for sharing your journey and sharing your being open, your openness of your mental health, process and that led up to this phenomenon that we are about to experience.
Thank you.
Get you some Kemet Co clothing. She is available at kemetcoclothing.com, right?
Yes, ma'am. kemetcoclothing.com.
Question. What is the code for?
I had to get a trademark. So for me, I had to get a trademark to where it was Kemet Company Clothing, but I just abbreviated to Kemet Co Clothing, so that way I can actually trademark that and trademark my brand. It's not really anything specific or anything, I guess, meaningful, but it was like Kemet Company. So I was looking to make sure that I was protected as far as my brand. So I had to develop something that was protected.
So what was that process like? That trademarking process? Walk us through that.
That was difficult, because I had no idea what I was doing. So it was like I went to, legalzoom.com, and I went here and I went there, and all these people have all these prices, and I'm like, I just want to make sure that somebody doesn't take my logo and put it on their stuff and say it was theirs. So there's a couple of different steps. You can always do it together. Of course, I got my LLC with the state of Georgia. The graphic designer advised me, you probably want to get this logo trademark, so that way nobody can take it. He said, because you can't technically trademark the name of something when it belongs to something else already, meaning the country Kemet. So I trademarked the logo, and I trademarked the brand as kemetcoclothing.com. So there was 3 separate steps outside of like my EIN and stuff like that. But it was the LLC established with Georgia, just to make sure nobody else was already using that I was unaware of. Once that got approved, I trademarked the logo to make sure that can't be used by anybody. And then I trademarked the brand, which was Kemet Co Clothing. So after a bunch of emails and a bunch of phone calls of salespeople trying to convince me to do stuff, I just did everything honestly through LegalZoom, because it covered everything.
Got it.
So yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are new in business don't know the trademark, their
That was,
logo,
yeah.
you
That
know,
was the first thing.
and
That was the first thing. Like I said, I wanted to make sure the LLC was covered just in the state of Georgia. Like I said, because I've seen other Instagram pages and Insta boutiques that have the name. So I wanted to make sure my brand was covered. And that was the route that I took. The LLC, the trademark of the physical logo itself, and then the trademark of the actual brand itself.
got it. Well, I don't have any more questions.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I wish nothing but increase and success to you. You have a wonderful, warm spirit,
Thank you.
very genuine. So I know that blessings and increase will come upon you.
Thank you so
I
much.
see great things in your future, and I love the brand. I love the logo. Don't forget to put the logo inside of the
I would definitely do
comments.
that. As
Everyone
exactly.
can see it. But yeah. So do you have, before we go, do you have any specials that you're running right now for the summer?
Not at the moment, just because of everything that's going on, and I'm in a change right now. But come the fall, come in the summertime, fall I'm really, really excited, and that's what I'm definitely working on right now. So I'm definitely really excited about that, because that's gonna be real big for me. And when I drop the fall line, it's gonna be a ton of specials with it, because I love people that support me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if I can give you a discount, that's what we're gonna do.
That's what it works. Well, thank you all for tuning in with me,
Thank
Judge
you.
Josie. Send your love and your prayers to Tawanda with the T, who is feeling ill today. But we enjoyed you, Miss Sheena Lynn, and
Thank
I will
you.
see you all next week. Tune in for more Melanated in Business, where we discuss and highlight all things Black and Brown. Thank you, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.